did you ever have problems crying like in audition, like for film?
Everyone.
That took a long time for me to break through. It was that old thing that happens, which is like anytime I was auditioning and it called for tears, I couldn't get there in the room. And as soon as I would walk out the door, I'd start crying out of failure.
Of course.
Yeah.
That happened for years.
Yeah. I just mace myself. I mace myself before I walk in.
Hold on, what?
Yeah, try it, guys. It works.
Daniel's like, yeah, 1 second.
Dang.
Yeah, man. A little mace goes a long way. I'm talking mess. But yeah. No, I can never I don't think I've ever pulled it off.
In real life either.
In real life, I just never cry. I can't get it out. I can sweat around my eyes. No, dude. Yeah, it sucks when you've been working on this audition, especially when they give you a good amount of time. Like, you get a week with the script.
Exactly.
And you're able to get the tears, and it's like, okay, yeah, I can lock in and pull this off.
Yeah, you're prepping. It's working.
Then you get in there, constipated.
Yeah.
Just won't come out the eyes.
Yeah.
Emotional constipation.
Yeah.
Emotional constipation. It's tough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But you guys have had a couple of winners?
Yeah.
And did you book it?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I had a couple winners, man.
Nice.
I had a couple winners where
They
it went
got you the
down,
role?
that it went hard in the paint.
Oh,
Yeah, there was a couple.
Nice.
There was one where there was one where I didn't get there and I still booked it, and they trusted me to get there on the day, which was so nice of them, and I didn't. So yep. So that one was terrible.
So did they CGI it or
nope,
just?
I was just bad, and that show got canceled. It wasn't because of me, but maybe it was.
Damn.
But then
Where are your people giving you like tears or blowing in your eye?
Yeah, somebody's got to be there on the
did you
side.
say my people?
Yeah, your makeup people.
I'm one people. I'm one person.
I'm a person.
Where was the makeup person blowing in your eye or giving you some menthol?
No.
Menthol.
Menthol is what I meant.
You're right.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Nope.
Or just farting right in your eyes of methane.
Or cornstarch and methane. One methane in your eyes. That person.
Nothing. I just couldn't get there. I was sad.
I'm gonna be honest. That was never super difficult for me.
Shocker.
But
shocker.
Here's the thing. I learned that it was a skill that I could work with, not just something that sort of like came up, like that I called to, but something that was a tool I could mold with in acting class, right? Like
Beautiful.
I could work through it.
Yeah.
And not just sort of end the scene at the tears, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Like get a little bit more into it. And I remember it was this woman who like, I was in my my uniform from school because I literally went from after school to my acting class. I did this like 3 times a week. And I was in there and this lady was just like looking at my uniform, right? And I was like, she like started to cry and I was like, please don't do that. Please don't cry. Please don't cry. She was having her own experience with like having gone to Catholic school or whatever. And I was like, please don't. And she did it. And I was like, oh my God. And like, I will never forget that moment ever in my life, dude. It was like, it was
you can
wild.
recall that.
Such a breakthrough. I can recall that like it was yesterday.
With this is a real life moment that now you can recall.
That was in my acting class that like really I started crying and it was able to be like a tool for me, not just like, the victory wasn't in just crying anymore. It was being able to like work in that frequency. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like call to it and
Exactly.
use it.
That's good.
And it was because this woman who I didn't even really like whatever, but she just was like, I used to go to Catholic school and whatever. And that whole moment is what it like broke me open. Isn't that strange?
Yeah.
Like it could be the weirdest moments for her and for me. Like she was bawling and then I was just like, oh God.
But your mind muscle connection is there. I mean, if that's a muscle.
Sure, it's an acting muscle. I mean, it's weird because like.
What about the first time y'all cried in acting class?
I mean, acting class I had breakthroughs, but my real breakthrough was the first time I did it successfully on set, and it was on this indie horror film, and you know, there's like a witch who has us like bound in a dungeon, you know, like it's like kind of silly, but I needed to be terrified, for real, to the point of like my brother's there, he might die, like and I needed to be truly terrified with tears coming down my face, and like it was the first time like all the acting class work like got me there where I felt like where I'm not like in the scene like trying to make tears happen, but the tears are happening and I'm in the scene. I'm in the terror of the scene. And man, acting's such a weird job for that. Like I'm in this dungeon, we're filming like night shoots, right? It's like 3 a.m. I'm like crying and weeping. And meanwhile, this is like a huge victory for me in my craft as an actor.
Right.
So like
Yeah.
when I was done, I'm like elated because I cried. Like it's such a funny. We live strange
Such a
lives.
weird
Strange.
thing.
I got out of this dungeon in Michigan, like
4 in the
victory.
morning?
Yeah, like 4 in the morning. Like yeah, exactly. Like I'm a new man.
Dude, all the while the sound guy's just sitting there eating a Twizzler, just watching you.
Dude, exactly.
Doesn't care, not a care in the world.
Exactly. Dude, exactly. On this like kind of little shitty horror
Incredible.
film, you know?
But it was big. That's a big moment.
And
That's great.
dude.
That's great.
That for me is the same thing. Like wherever I am, the same performance is going to come out of me. Like most of my like good cries or whatever have happened when I'm like holding a gun to a werewolf or something. You know what I mean? But like on my side, I'm like, don't cut away from me. Like that is
I'm
great.
crushing.
Right? But it's on most of that stuff where like I've done so many freaking silly things like that you are so committed to in the time
must
now
be.
because that's your job, right?
You must
can
be.
laugh at it afterwards, but
You must be
I've worked with
committed.
people who are laughing at it during our filming, and I'm like,
Oh yeah, you're not. Yeah,
you piece of crap.
you're not even trying
Do
to
you
must.
match-
understand?
You must
Like,
build the world.
support all of
Commitment,
us.
yeah.
Come on now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but then when it's over, you're like, oh, that was silly. But I mean, a victory is a victory is a victory, and I love that the work it doesn't change for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can be reading with you. I can be going in somewhere. I can
Yeah.
be, and it's like that's why I sweat so much. The emotion's always there.
Yeah.
So secretions are just not hard for you.
No,
You need to sweat.
of any kind, just wet.
Just wet.
Anyway.
Wet person.
Yeah, I had a big one after my parents were getting divorced. I had like a big audition for like a recurring on a show, and it was real. Like the material they were asking was like it needed to be really there. I needed to be broken, and luckily I was broken at the time, and so I was able to like use it. That was like a weird cosmic thing. I didn't book it, but I went very far, and it was like I'm like I crushed that audition.
Yeah,
Because the sadness was real.
yeah,
Didn't have to call on. Didn't have to do much work.
yeah.
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 What hit you first, or where did it hit you in your body? Like when you found out that news?
That my parents were getting divorced?
Yeah.
Everywhere, dude. That was life changing. It was a phone call. And from that phone call, it was almost immediately clear, like, my family as it was will never be the same again. Like, that was crazy. I was out of town premiering a movie. I was out of town for like 2 weeks in Mexico to premiere a movie.
Are all of your things crossed with something weird? Like that, like, I don't know.
No, I know dude, it's been a strange part of my life. There was
Sorry,
that
go
one,
on.
which was, I was on this really high premiere press tour for a movie I was excited about. Got that phone call. Yeah, another one was I was opening for Seal in the summer of 2019. If you guys at home don't know, I make music. And my old music, I have new music, that's a whole different thing. But my old music, I was opening for Seal on his summer tour in 2019. And that was massive for me. That was the biggest thing I'd ever done musically.
Big for anybody.
I've listened to Seal my whole
Huge.
life. It was a 2,500 seat theater. It was beautiful. It was this outdoor amphitheater up in San Jose. And so I play this show. It was like incredible. I felt like I did really well, and then watched Seal perform. It was beautiful. And then that night, when Seal was over, I got another phone call from my sister who called me about my parents' divorce, and my grandma had died that night. And it's like, it's freaking me out when good things start to happen in my life, because I'm like, oh, is it gonna happen again? This weird thing where life gave me both a high and then this really humbling, grounding, destructive low, you know?
And even on the most recent thing that you did,
Yeah.
Oh.
another.
But
Yeah.
don't read into
No.
that.
And I don't
No,
mean
no, no,
don't
no.
read into
No,
it. I think
no,
it's
of
an
course not.
interesting cross section.
I
of
agree.
energy.
I agree.
Up to observe.
No, I
yeah.
can't not observe it. Like, I agree. I go like, whoa, man, these highs, life gives me these highs and these lows simultaneously. And I'd love for that to stop happening.
Just space those out a little, dude.
No, but life is
Oh.
this place. I mean, we're in this almost constant like purgatory. It's like, okay, you can go up, but There's down. Down is always going to be there.
Right.
Up will always be there though too, and so we find this healthy little medium to try to, like you said, stay not even grounded, but
I mean, no,
life will
grounded's part
ground
of
you.
it.
Thanks for watching this clip of the Ned's Declassified Podcast Survival Guide. For the full episode, go check out the Ned's Pod YouTube. And for more weekly bonus content, come join our Patreon. Link for both in the description.